Dropping the gloves to fight an all-out trade war. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. President Trump slapping 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of Canadian imports, targeting products like booze, furniture, even hockey sticks. The president threatening to go even further, posting a promise to smack 50% tariffs on cars, trucks, car parts, and steel if a deal isn't struck before next year. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney vowing dollar-for-dollar retaliation, saying his country is under attack.
You're at war when you get attacked. We got attacked. We've got the reserves, we got the resilience, we've got the plan, we've got the focus. We will respond. We're going to focus on what we can control. We're going to build.
And Ontario Premier Doug Ford getting personal now, saying the president just can't be trusted.
President Trump is the type of person that would steal your lunch money the first day. He'd steal the toque off your head the second day, and the third day he'd steal your running shoes.
Now those tariffs have one small business owner tied up in knots. Greg Sugar, CEO of Bow Ties of Vermont, says his trade war, well, it's taken him to the cleaners. Greg, we mentioned alcohol, furniture. Tell us how these tariffs are impacting companies like yours that depend on fabric from overseas.
Hi, thanks for having me on. Yeah, the global tariffs have definitely negatively impacted us. And keep in mind, we are a made in America company. The problem is the type of silk we use to make our bow ties and neckties and other products, that silk isn't even made in the United States. So we are forced to look outside of the United States. It's made most commonly in Europe and in Asia. So specifically for us, that's Italy and China. And when we bring that fabric in, it's been hit at a high tariff since last April. And so the cost of our goods have since gone up, and we've had to pass some of those costs on to the consumer. It's completely unavoidable.
Well, and I guess my next question is, could your business turn to American manufacturers as an alternative?
So again, just to clarify, we are the American manufacturer.
Sorry, I meant the fabric. Sorry about that. I meant the fabric. Yeah. Get your fabrics from here.
Yeah, and again, there are no silk fabric factories in the United States. We use silk jacquard fabric. There's no such thing. I couldn't shop at one because none of them exist. So we're forced to go overseas, and that puts us in a position where we basically have no choices.
So, all right. So I guess what's your plan then? Are you concerned this is going to put you out of business, or can you survive this?
Well, we've been able to survive it by doing our best to cut costs elsewhere. We had to let a couple of people go last year, and we've increased our pricing. I mean, that's certainly like the only thing that we have left. There's only so much you can raise your prices, of course. And so our gross margins have taken a hit. Obviously, our net margins. It's limited our ability to give more raises to our employees, to do any sort of future planning. It's really been one big nightmare. And I think the thing that frustrates me the most is we're supposed to be the very type of company that's protected by these tariffs. And as an American manufacturer, right, we're the goal. We want to preserve companies like ours, and yet we're getting hit. It's why I introduced a potential bill into the Senate last year with our Senator Peter Welch. My hope was to get American manufacturers like us exempt from tariffs when we use foreign inputs. Unfortunately, that never really went anywhere, but it seems to be fairly logical if you really believe in American manufacturing.
Well, as you know, we've had multiple rounds of tariffs put in place since Trump, retook office. Some stuck around, some went away, some were struck down by the Supreme Court. What does that kind of uncertainty, mean for a business like yours?
Well, as I stated before, it really makes it hard to plan as a company, plan with our employees, some of our infrastructure. We're kind of at the limit as far as how high we can price things out. And, now we're fighting sort of another war, which is rising gas prices. So now it's costing more money to bring this fabric in from overseas. It's costing more money to ship our orders out to our customers. So we are just fighting costs on every end. And we're hoping that someone will eventually in Congress have the courage to step in and take over the rights of Congress and get rid of some of these tariffs, which does nobody any good. We're not even talking about a lot of the small businesses that bring in products from overseas because they're products that aren't made here. They're not made inexpensively. So all small businesses are getting hit hard. We're just specifically an American manufacturer that is, and I really feel like that's sort of an untold story you just don't hear enough of. Is how American manufacturers have been pummeled, and I think that's why American manufacturing hasn't grown at all since Liberation Day of last year.
So what's your message to the Trump administration in the midst of all this?
Oh gosh, my message
Question.
is to the. I would. I've spoken to congressmen on both sides, but specifically, I've spoken to Republican congressmen, and they are aware of our problem. They agree with our problem, and they've looked me in the eye and said, "We're just going to let the president ride this one out." And so, the only thing I can hope for is that someone in his administration understands tariffs well enough to understand this is terrible for small business, the American consumer, and our entire economy, which is just has continued to suffer for the last year and a half, has not been growing at any specific or any significant rate while these tariffs have been in place. And of course, the whole refund process has been a nightmare. We just want this whole thing to end once and for all.
All right, well, Greg, I was really hoping you were going to wear a bow tie for this interview. I mean, we had some great video of your bow ties being made, but next time, could you take advantage of this opportunity to show us your beautiful bow ties?
Sorry, just coming off a plane. I don't wear a bow tie on a plane. I'm going to start just in case.
There we go. Always keep one in your back pocket and a pocket square. All right.
Great idea.
Yeah, we'll keep in good touch, definitely. And just track how you're doing. Just keep us updated, Greg, okay?
I sure will. Thanks for having me on. Let me spread the word. Appreciate it.
Of course, always. Greg Sugar, appreciate you.